Well, folks, we are live on Facebook and YouTube tonight. So, look, I do apologise. We're 8 minutes delayed. Bit of an internet connection. We're up and all running, and we have loads to talk about in the next hour. I have Jamie back with me. He joined me last Saturday to have a chat. It was just after the game, and obviously the emotions were running high from everyone. There's a lot of people giving out saying Brendan should be gone. A lot of people are pointing the fingers at the board. People are pointing fingers at Joe Hart, pointing fingers at players. And you know what? We all have an opinion. At the end of the day, we want to win the league. And this is what happened. So, Jamie, welcome. How's everything? Have you recovered yet?
Bad. Yeah, not bad. I would say slightly. I'm looking for a slight optimism rather than try to just beat myself about the result. So I'm trying to look on the bright side, I would say.
Exactly. Now, you see the line under this, folks, is basically just our socials, YouTube, Twitter, well, now X, Instagram. And if you can go onto our YouTube and subscribe, it's free of charge as well. It's been a difficult couple of days, Jamie. Obviously, it's been 2 defeats in a row now in the league. And between that, there was a Champions League win in there. Livingston on Saturday. You going to go to the game on Saturday?
Yes, I will be there. I will be there again. Home to see a better performance, of course. And I want a good convincing win. Nothing scrappy. I want to see us play some good football. That's what I'm really hoping for. Yes, I'll be there.
Right. I done a poll earlier on Instagram. I asked my followers on Instagram, will Brendan get backed in January? Let's have a look, right? So how many votes? Let's see how many. So 265 people voted yes, right? And that was a 48%. And 283 people voted. 52% said no, he won't get backed in January. Oh my God, that just shows the confidence in the boards.
I'm surprised at that, actually.
I'm really surprised at that. I thought it would have been like...
surprised at that.
Yeah, really surprised. So, look at the recruitment. I put up a video earlier on about Brendan Rodgers being asked literally before the season started, and he said he was happy with the infrastructure of the recruitment. He's happy with Mark Lawwell. He was happy with the signs that were identified before he came in. I think he's probably eating his words up now.
Yeah, I would seem that. I mean, like you just said there, Keith, he did say that. That's no fact. That's no fiction. That he did say that. He said that he was happy, and also said that he signs the players off. So he stuck his neck out for the board, and it seems to have got him nowhere really, as we see now with some of these players.
Is it a case you think that he might have had a little bit of Vandella jealousy towards Ange's transfer policy before he came in and wanted to make it his own say by saying, "Oh yeah, I do have to say, because I'm Brendan Rodgers. I've managed in the Premier League, not like Ange, and I've managed this club before trying to step authority." You think that could have been as well?
Well, I think, if you look back at previous transfer windows, I think I was a bit surprised by how quick Ange got the business done, if that makes sense. There was some of them came out of nowhere, like the KYOGO signing almost seemed to happen overnight, which we aren't really used to. Usually we see it on Twitter, Facebook, links with this player, that player, and it never really comes to happen. But I think Rodgers will have probably seen that and thought maybe it's changed, because obviously there's a bit of frustration when he was last year. And so far, it seems to be like, it's just essentially what you just said there, Keith, that he's signed off all these players, as he says he has, and I think he's just trying to say, like Ange did, really, that this is the way it is now, so that may have been the reason why he came back, but who knows?
Right, we'll go through the comments and we'll interact with people as much as we can, folks. As I said, a lot of you are on Facebook. Jump over to the same name on YouTube and subscribe. It's free of charge. It'll help my page grow. As I said, I don't really like being on Facebook much, doing these lives. It's a bit of a mixed audience. At least with YouTube, we have a bit of a laugh on that. But we're going to go through the transfers that have been brought in. I have a list of them there. I've also picked out a full team of players that I think should go in January. Now, it's crazy. I know a lot of people are going to say no, yes and no. We're all tied to opinion. Okay, we want to go out and beat Livingston on Saturday. It's the most focus and get back into the game of things. we've said this on the channel that it just feels like this season has been an absolute disaster so far. Look, we're still not officially halfway through it just yet. We have Scottish Cup to contest. We have the league still to contest. We're still top of the league at the moment. It could be a case that that team that's sitting second might not win them 2 games. Now, the chances are quite slim, but, you know, stranger things have happened in football, Jamie.
Yeah, well, there's always a chance, you know. That's the thing. We are still top of the league as it stands, and anything can happen. We've seen the past couple of weeks, so just need to hope for the best.
I've never asked you this before. What do you think? What's your opinion on the whole allocation, not giving them allocation? Now, I know a lot of people are going to say the same.
Well, I think personally, and I know this might not be a popular opinion with our fan base, but I just think it's embarrassing, full stop. I think if you look anywhere outside this country, that it's. See, when I was watching some of the Premier League games, you can hear the away fans. It felt a bit weird. I was like, you could actually hear their fans. So I think it's embarrassing for our football as a brand that the 2 top teams can't even allow the fans or rival fans into the stadiums. That's just my opinion. It might not be popular, but I think it's embarrassing, to be honest with you.
You look at the 2 sides of the story from a Celtic fan's perspective. A lot of them don't want them in because they smashed the toilets up, they caused trouble, you know. And you look back to what they done to us. They started this back at the end of 2018, and then it just got to the stage where they kept cutting the allocation. See what happened with Joe Hart, the glass bottle on the pitch a couple of seasons back. One of our staff one of the coaching staff or the physios got smashed with a bottle in the back of the head as well. Last season. It's just
make no mistake about it. It's absolutely. I would definitely put the blame firmly in their court. Do you know what I mean? Because it definitely had nothing to do with us why this is all came about. But I think it's just about time that we sort this out at a bit. Like this, it's never going to be what people want to be. Like you say, some people don't want them back. Some people want them back at like a fraction of the numbers. I just think that maybe a fraction of numbers is the way to go to kind of boost our brand as a football nation. Do you know what I mean? So,
like, it's meant to be like one of the biggest derbies in world football.
Yeah, exactly.
How are you going to sell the tool if you have no away fans in? Like, I'll be honest with you, and I'll be out straight. I was saying this to one of the lads I work with today. It's like I can't even stomach watching the away games anymore when we're not there because I don't want to hear what they're singing. I actually have to put the game on a low volume when I'm watching it. That's how crazy it is.
It's this country is just it's so weird. Like you say, it started with Rangers and then it went for Hearts and who else? I think Aberdeen have done it now as well. It's just like, what is happening?
It's not I completely agree with Tommy. It's not a derby anymore. You can't sell the brand if you don't have the fans from both sides. Some people would say give them 2,000 or 3,000, and we get 2,000 or 3,000. I can't see it happening. I just think it's going to prolong until the SFA or Sky Sports step in and then have their say, because Sky Sports could pull the contract, even though they have a long-term contract until 2029. They could pull the contract.
Yeah, they could quite easily. You know, it's as we see.
See what happened in France.
Exactly.
See what happened in French football.
If they can pull it quite easily and to kind of tarnish the biggest fixture on our calendars by something as stupid and petty as that, and I do understand what you mean by like the coins and the balls getting thrown, but it's no good look for Scottish football going forward, in my opinion.
As you said, the likes of Hearts and even St Mirren, they've cut the allocation for the away fans. It's become pathetic. Like, you're watching these games on Sky and then you're seeing, like, I know we were playing Kilmarnock a couple of weeks ago. Like, the Kilmarnock, the stand, we used to have the 2 stands behind the goal, and that's literally empty.
Yeah, I remember it well. The game that kind of highlights for me is when we went to Hearts not long ago, and you see that the absolute fraction of Celtic supporters were penned in that wee corner.
Was it 800 fans we had?
Yeah, something like that. And it was just it's crazy, honestly. It's just it has to. Where's it going to stop though? Like, where does it end? If we just get to the point where we go back to normal, or
it'd be going back to the COVID days with banners at this rate.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So it's like, where does it end?
Exactly. Right. So it looks like, be honest, comment below. Do you think Brendan Rodgers is the man for the job? Now, I've given my opinion. I think if he gets backed in January, I think he's good enough for the job. If we lose to Rangers on, especially with a full crowd, our own fans, and we drop points before that, he's not good enough for the job. Simple as that. It's a results business, folks. It's a results business. What I was saying to Paul John Dykes in the Celtic State of Mind the other night was, it feels like this is a regular occurrence with Brendan Rodgers every club he goes to. He almost won the league with Liverpool, and the following season, Liverpool went out and bought Balotelli, Lambert, Moreno, what's his name? I can't even think. Another guy, a Serbian guy, and he spent, I think it was 120 in the market. And he came out and said after he left Liverpool that he didn't identify any one of them players.
I mean, it's concerning, isn't it? I mean, I've always kind of.
It's like he breaks down with the board in the
Yeah.
space of 2 or 3 years. You've seen it with Leicester. I know Leicester weren't giving them the money the final season, then they got dropped down to the Championship. It just there's a bit of feel there that is the relationship broken already with, or is it coming to it?
I feel like it's more of the same as what happened before he left the last time, you know. But then again, that is if he is trying to sign players, and it isn't just the fact that they're giving him players to work with. Because he said that in one of his previous interviews when he first came back, is that how good the scouting network was of the team, and they would identify players that he had to bring to a better standard. And right now, I just don't see that happening at all. It just seems like a bit of a mess at the moment.
I seen a good comment on my YouTube channel earlier on, and it was like, they should learn the lesson from the last time. Don't always go back. You don't rehire former managers. They leave for a reason. You don't rehire them.
It's a good point. It's a very good point.
You don't go backwards. You move forwards. And obviously, I'm feeling right now, as I said this the other night, and I think you have the same of what I've spoke to people around me. I feel like there's a bit of COVID season feel to it a bit.
It does. It feels just the exact same.
Yeah,
the exact same.
And as I say this, and I'm not trying to be brutal to fans that are going to the games, but like, you might as well not be there if you're not going to sing.
It's
the anger the other day. Yeah. Like the people are talking about booing Santa and all. Like I seen the picture of the man that guy giving out to the board, and on a fair do something. He's doing the right thing. The board are out of touch. The board have been out of touch with this club for the last easily 10, 15 years.
It's been a while. It's just like I say, when I go to the games now, and now you're saying that how people aren't singing, etc. When you go to a Celtic game now, it almost feels like you're not at a Celtic game because how quiet it is. I've never experienced anything like that, and any times I've been going to games, I've been going to games since I was about 9 or 10, and even then, you can still hear noise. But this, it's like it is a library. I'm just going to be brutally honest. It's eerily quiet. Do you know what I mean? And it has to be sorted quick.
What do you think it's down to? Is you just think it's down to the football as being atrocious, or the fans have lost confidence in Brendan Rodgers and the board?
I think it's generally a bit of both. You know, if I'll take that. I'll give you an example. So the Atletico game, the Green Brigade were still in at this time, and the atmosphere before a Champions League night like that was flat because it felt like we were putting all our energy into the team and we were getting nothing back. And it kind of feels like that just now. Like they haven't given us anything to shout about, if that makes sense. So at the weekend there, it was stale from the first whistle to the last whistle because the performance on the pitch was nowhere near good enough.
What I find bizarre is I have a lot of people that are watching this now, and I'd say there's about 20% that are against with what we're saying. They feel like it's it's just a couple of defeats. There's nothing going wrong. I think we're over. Some people think we're overreacting. I've had fans, friends that are season ticket holders, and they come out and said to me, 2 or 3 of them said to me this week, if we don't get it together by this derby, they're gonna go on and do a treble this season. And that's mad. That's mad to even feel like that. And that's just how downbeat we feel about I think we need to get ourselves in order. We'll play Livy. Martindale is going to obviously park the bus.
Yeah.
They've took a couple of points off us in the past. They're not a good look. They haven't even scored in ages as well. For God's sake,
It's a good few hours. I heard that on at the weekend. It's a good few hours with a football that they haven't scored. So that'll be interesting to see the weekend. But yeah,
it just looks like Rodgers is just fed up. He doesn't look like the same manager that he was 5 or 6 years ago. It just looks like he's gone in there for the pay grade. And I know people might think I'm mad. I just feel like he's gone in there for the big chunk of money. He's just trying to wing it every week. He can't even pick a right team. He can't pick he doesn't. I honestly think he doesn't even know what his strongest team is.
Yeah, that's again. I can't disagree with anything you're saying there, Keith. I think his body language certainly tells me that it's a bit half-assed. I'm going to say, it just seems that way. You know what I mean? He's on the touchline and he doesn't look animated. Because I watch him at times. I know that might sound weird, but I always like to see how the manager is reacting to what's going on. And I always said this: see if a manager makes 4 substitutes before an hour's been played, he hasn't got a clue what's going on or how to fix it. Do you know what I mean? So, is it Rodgers' beat? Is he dated? Is his tactics dated?
I think his tactics is dated. Here's one for you as well. Has he lost the dressing room already?
That a performance on I know again people are going to say I'm overreacting, but that performance on Saturday would tell me so. I think that performance told me I was all, you know, honestly. I
want to see what other people think. Like, you know, it's all just questions, folks. Don't get so offended and say, you're talking this, you're talking that. At the end of the day, the evidence is there, not from the defeats. The draw to St. Johnstone in August, the draw to Motherwell, getting smashed in the Champions League. It's been the evidence is there, and getting dumped out of the League Cup.
It's there. And see what you're saying there again, Keith. I know people say people are overreacting. It's okay to lose a football game. Everybody loses football games.
That's the whole point of supporting the team. You win, lose, and draw.
Exactly. But that cowardly, pathetic performance on Saturday was unlike anything I have ever seen before. With a team wearing green and white, it was beyond embarrassing. Didn't even look as if we had any sort of fight or determination to even try and win the game. And that, to me, would suggest that there's something seriously not right behind the scenes.
As I said at the start of the show, I just can't believe that poll I put up, and 52% of people are saying that he won't get backed in January. Like, people are saying sack the board, right? Who's going to replace them?
Sack the board isn't an easy one. That's not a quick fix. That's
what I'm saying. Like, you got to look at you got to look at the root first of all. We have Peter Lawwell back in charge. A lot of people don't like Peter Lawwell. Obviously, he doesn't get on with the Green Brigade. He doesn't get on with the Ultras. We need the Green Brigade back in. Me and you have agreed on it. A lot of people are real old-fashioned on this. Don't want the Green Brigade. They don't like the politics of football side. That's their opinion. At the end of the day, we want to watch football games and we want to hear the atmosphere. You don't want a library. Even if I'm sitting at home watching it on the telly or being there, majority of people will agree the Green Brigade need to be put back in. I think you made a point to me on Saturday night, and someone else made a point to me as well. What if they do get reinstalled and we're losing games up to this derby and we're further behind and they win that game in hand? Is there going to be a case that there's banners displayed of how they're feeling about the board, and then they might take a stand and say, well, okay, the board might take a stand and say, we don't want you back in again? There needs to be a conversation between both parties. At the end of the day, we need the stadium full. We don't want to see half the stadium or three-quarters stadium full. Why'd you have a season ticket if you don't want to go? Give it to someone else.
Exactly. It makes no sense. And like you say there, that is exactly what I said. It's like, if they bring the Green Brigade back in and the results on the pitch don't improve, it's only going to become more hostile. So it's a real head scratcher for the board. But then again, if they don't let them back in, the longer this goes on, it makes them look worse. If that makes sense, it looks like they're not trying to sort this. So it's a double-edged sword, I would say, for the board at the minute.
Did you suggest to me the other day, Martin? No, it was Paul. Paul John Dyke said it to me. Martin O'Neill is the director of football.
I think we need a director of football. I think that's the way the modern game is going now. I think there's a lot of clubs in England that have done it, and they're obviously they're way ahead. I think this is the way the football's going to go, and I do like Martin O'Neill. I think Martin O'Neill, his last couple of jobs
I
haven't
don't
really
think he'll
turned
come
out
back,
well.
to be
But nah,
honest.
I don't. I think it has to be someone who's level-headed and, first of all, has got experience at a decent level. Do you know what I mean? There would be no point. But this, and I'm not saying this, and I really don't mean this. Like, I'm using this as an example, like Neil Lennon or somebody like that. Do you know what I mean? That's not going to work. It has to be someone who knows, has it's good transfers philosophy, also has an idea what's going on in the pitch, and has to be that middleman between the board and the manager. Do you know if that makes sense?
Obviously a good negotiator as well, and you need
Yeah,
someone in there that
exactly.
has a good negotiator. Like obviously feel like if things are going wrong, if you come into this team and you feel like things are going wrong, I'm going to have your back. I'm going to have a chat with the manager and make sure we're getting the best performance. The prime example is Lager Bielke. Like this is a guy. I'm gonna go through these transfers now, folks. A lot of people are in tonight. A massive thank you to everyone that's joining. If you're watching it on Facebook and on YouTube, as I said, subscribe. It's free of charge. So here we go. These are the players within the last 12 months that have been brought in, right? And that have went. Right, Naroski. Let's talk about Naroski. He's been injured. He's played, I think 4 or 5 games max for Celtic.
Yep, something like that. It's not a lot, but I like him. I think he looks good in the ball. He seems to be a bit vulnerable maybe in the air, but in terms of going forward with the ball, it looks good. So I don't understand why he's not got a chance. I really don't.
I know he wasn't picked in the Champions League squad, but look at the price though, 5 million. 5 million quid. This is what's getting to me. Like I remember speaking to Saluska before he signed, before Naroski signed for us, and he said he's going to go big places. Naroski will, and I think obviously he's done well for the Polish team as well.
Yeah,
give him a bit of time. Honestly, I don't read into buying into this whole malarkey of sending this guy on loan or letting him go. I think I think he needs to be. I put him ahead of Welch. What I've seen so far.
So, yeah, I think he needs a chance. He needs a chance, and I've got a slight suspicion. I don't know why. I think you might see him on Saturday. Genuinely.
I hope so. I
think we might see him.
Right, let's look at this. The next one, folks. We're going to go through the comments as well. All right. Now we're going to have loads of names here, which I think should go and should stay. And I want his opinion. I know some of you will say, nah. Right, Lewis Palmer. He's done well, I thought, so far. A few, obviously, a lot in recent games he's been poor, but you look at it, the potential he has. Look at the balls. Look at that ball he passed onto the Aberdeen game.
Outside the football. Yeah, man.
Look at that ping to Matt O'Reilly as well and Tynecastle for that goal as well. People forget about this stuff. They always forget. They always look at the negatives. Yeah.
I agree with you there, Keith, 100%. I think he is definitely one that will come good. Yeah, it's good, but I think he's got a bit more to show, and with the right coaching, I think he could be right up there as well.
I think he could be a cracking player. I really believe.
Yeah, I agree.
There. Now the third one on the list, Lager Bielke. I just can't get my head around this. He's highly rated in Sweden.
Oh, it's a real head scratcher.
3 million. Like even when I was watching it, 3.4 million is it? Looking. But like every time you look at a player, you always see his best bits, and that's just typical, YouTube. But like the guy, reportedly, rumors going around. Brendan doesn't rate him. Brendan thinks he's not mobile on the ball, kind of like
he's not fast enough.
Kind of like Starfelt was in his fourth season, and it's obviously Starfelt's adapted to it. I'd keep Lager. I really would. Maybe send him on loan. Maybe it's a potential. I don't think selling them. Like a lot of people are saying get him to go. Like
no, I agree with you there, Keith. I think that, and I think he should go on loan, but I think he should stay in the league and learn the league. Like
a Christopher Lloyd did.
Exactly. I think that's the way to go with Lager Bielke, because he's not going to develop as a player by being in and out the squad. Do you know what I mean? So he needs to play, and I think there's a player in there somewhere. I don't think we should get rid of him just yet. I think it's way too soon. But I would like to see him go on loan, but stay in the league so he gets to learn a bit more about
do you know what the ideal place to be Aberdeen for him. I think
Yeah,
obviously
exactly.
look at what Scales has done when he went to Aberdeen. I think, they're a team that's obviously down the bottom at the moment. They've concentrated in Europe, they concentrated in the League Cup, and it didn't work out for them. I think you send them alone because there's a lot in that position. I'd send them. Now, Odinholm, this is an interesting one. I've seen potential with this guy, but at the same time, I know Lagerby out was sent off in the same game. That sending off the fine arts kind of tempted me. I think that he looks like he's still quite young, inexperienced, and the only way he's going to get better by playing games.
Yep, I agree with you. But the only thing I'll say about that full situation is the boy shouldn't even have been on the park that night. He's not even near ready for that type of fixture or that type of environment. Do you know what I mean? So
that's what Celtic do, though. Celtic put all these
exactly.
players in the deep end so they can try and make money off them.
Exactly, but I just feel like it was way too soon for a guy like him, and he also looks a bit. I feel like he needs to play, he needs to get consistency. He needs to play like you just said there, Keith. He has to play. So again, it's no good.
You seen the potential when he came on against them at Ibrox, and he literally looked like he was a player.
Yeah, it looks good. It does look good.
Even against Ross County away, I know people are around like, Keith's Ross County, but every game you've got to take serious, regardless who the opposition is. I just feel Odinholm, if David Turnbull signs a pre-contract with a team or goes in January, I'll keep home. That's my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you. I definitely agree with that as well.
Monty says Nakamura for a set piece coach. Imagine our Japanese players being coached by Nakamura. That would be an incentive, but at the same time, I know Nakamura is only recently properly retired. He played it up to in his mid-40s. An absolute legend. But look, we need someone that suits the profile, not because of their reputation, not because of what he's done on the pitch as a player. He's got to have the coaching skills as well to deal with the other players around, not just the Japanese players.
Yeah, I agree. Right. Totally.
Now, I think we're all going to be in agreement on this. I'd be surprised if people are actually going to disagree on this. Yang has to go.
I agree. I've seen enough of that guy. I've seen enough of him, Keith, honestly, mate. He's not good enough. He isn't good enough. That's full stop.
Do you know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of that Japanese winger we had, Mizuno. Remember Mizuno?
Oh, Koki Mizuno, yeah.
He kind of reminds me of, I know.
Oh, man.
There's something there. I just feel like this is too big of a club for him. He hasn't adapted. Yeah. Some people can't put the foot. Chris Sutton, I remember with the Cameron game, I was like, oh, did he put the boots on the right feet this time? I would no. Some people are saying send them on loan. Look at the price we paid from 2.5 million from the K League. No, I'd get rid of him.
No,
I haven't seen enough.
It hasn't worked out. I don't think it ever will. He looked raw at some points of his career with us. I feel like he had potential, maybe I would say, in the early stages, but he's had a bit of a run and he's produced nothing. So again, not for me.
See what happens there. Yeah, Missoula was Nakamura's wee mate. On the money tonight, Paul. Love the boards. All the boards on the gap. There's another board here as well.
Okay. I know, they're everywhere.
Brilliant. And there's a player in Yang. I thought as a start. I don't know. I just feel like, is it a case that he's not adapted to the system? Is he not getting the right man management? I don't know what's going on there. Maybe it's just affecting the whole team, and he's just feeling it as well.
Yeah, well, that is another point that could be, because I think who knows what the morale's like behind the scenes. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah. Right, let's see. So who's getting the best out of our Japanese players just now? But to be honest, Maeda's only back. Atate's injured. Iwata's done all right so far. Where he's been in 2 or 3 games.
Ones, I would say.
Once we get Atate back, and then we'll see. Like this is the positives I'm trying to be optimistic about when we get Atate back. But the whole KYOGO situation, we'll go back on it again. I feel like we're talking in circles about the whole KYOGO stuff like we did the other day. Right. So a lot of people are saying send Yang on loan. There's a player in Yang where I'm on the get him out. I think he's a bit too lightweight as well, to be honest.
Me too.
I'm sorry. So move on with that. Tilio. I was actually. This is weird. I know this sounds strange. We've only seen 2 games of Tilio. I seen more potential in Tilio coming on against playing against Motherwell than I have with Yang in his all-in games he's played.
Yeah, I would have to agree. And I don't know what's happened. He obviously picked up that injury, and he didn't. I don't think he even got a pre-season. So maybe that's stented his.
Did you hear what Rodgers Corney said? I don't know if I'm not going to quote in this, but according he said the only reason Tilio was picked is because he had injuries and he had to fill the
squad. That's accurate. I heard that as well. That is the truth, and that tells you. See, if I was a player and I was hearing things like that, it must be so demoralising. If you're working so hard to get back to training and then your manager says essentially that you're only on the bench because a lot of people are injured. You know what I mean? It's like, what is going on, man? I don't understand that.
Yeah, it's a strange about Tilio. I think maybe Tilio will probably go on loan, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think so.
Definitely will probably go on loan. I hope he goes on loan in the league somewhere, maybe a Kilmarnock or maybe a Motherwell and gets that experience, because I think we do have a player there. Look, we're all tight to opinion tonight, and it's good to see the numbers doing well. Quan, let's look at.
I don't even know what to say about this guy, honestly. I forget he even plays for us. Like, is this the guy? This is the guy that said he was going to be the best.
I think this is going to be another Marvin compare, to be honest.
Oh, mate, he said he was going to be the best player in the league and use us as a stepping stone into the Bundesliga or the Premier League, didn't he? I'm sure he said that.
Yeah,
I'm sure he said that. Honestly, I mean, I watched him for the first 45 minutes against Atletico Bilbao, and I remember it clear as day. I said to my brother,
miscorrect passes. I heard.
I said to my brother who was watching it, that's the last time you'll see him in a Celtic jersey, and I honestly, it's kept me like, I don't know. Honestly, I've seen it enough for the guy in the first 45 minutes to know that he was, plus the ego he had on, it wasn't going to fit. Do you know what I mean?
He was Quan.
But
Quan gone.
He was Quan. Do you know who that is? I know exactly who. Like, oh man, honestly.
God, Lanky, would you stop? The only creamy one I know was about the one on the pitch. Evening from Lisbon, Keith, sparked up. Oh God, my God, what's this 412 channel tonight? Nuggets, right? We're all agreed that it's Quan's gone. Awate, like obviously Awate we signed up in the summer proper. It's done all right so far.
Yeah,
done all right.
Looks decent in that
Nat Phillips
role.
Nat Phillips is gone, basically.
That's confirmed, isn't it? I'm sure that's confirmed. That he is
seen Anthony Joseph talking about it today. Yeah. So, folks, what I've done was, right, now I know a few of you want Taylor out the door and you want Joe Hart out the door in January. A lot of you feel like a majority of the squad are not good enough to wear the short, and that's we're all tied to opinion, yeah. I basically sat down yesterday in work and looked at players that should be definitely gone in January. Now, definitely gone in January. I mean, like a realistically possibility of these players actually going. I can't see Joe Hart going as much as some fans want Joe Hart gone and Taylor gone. So this is what I done up, right? I don't know if people can make that out if it's too small. So it looks like it's probably a bit too small. So I want Seacrest to play, but if his head is in Australia, go to Australia. There's no point having a go. He looks like a better keeper than Joe Hart at this moment in time. I was looking at even when he was playing for Dundee, the saves he pulled off, the positioning, and even he just looked so calm. And I don't know. I just think we're wasting a keeper there.
Even when we signed Benji Seacrest, Keith, honestly, I thought he was going to come in and honestly maybe
take
it. Yeah, because he was good enough to be playing as number one for any of the other teams in the league. So I'm baffled at how this hasn't worked out with Seacrest, honestly.
I know we're all saying we need to get a keeper, we need to get this, we need to get that, folks. We need to clear out the deadwood first before we start getting people in the door. The squad is too big at the moment. So this is why we're bringing this up, and then we're going to talk about players. Like, it's actually embarrassing. We're 11 days to go for the transfer window to open, and we're linked with one or two players. We're linked with a Portuguese left back, which I haven't even talked about on the channel, because I'm actually quite embarrassed that we've been linked with Morosky off Aberdeen. That's about it. Didn't do much the weekend. So Benji Seacrest, if he's not playing and he's wasted away, you get him out the door, clear up the wage. Now these positions, I just put them all in, right? Nat Phillips, we just had a conversation. He's gone, right? Who's that? Kawabashi meant to be going anyway.
Yep.
Kawabashi. Obviously he's linked with going back to Gamba Osaka. That's who's meant to be linked to go back to. Right wing. Alessandro Berdabé. You've voiced your opinion on Berdabé.
Yeah.
I want to do the opinion with folks. I don't think there's a player there. I just think he just doesn't look like he wants to be at Celtic.
I saw a few Italian teams have been linked with him recently on Twitter the last couple of days, and I feel like whoever paid £4 million for that guy, I'd really love to have a conversation with that person.
Originally, we went in 1.8 million, and then they laughed at, and then we went back in again, and then obviously, I don't know if the case it was a poor recruitment from Mark Lawwell, or it was a case that Ange pushed it.
Exactly, because we were quite threadbare in that position for quite a while until we got him in there, and it just seems to have gone back that way.
Conal Grady is asking, would you take Ideguchi back? Now, look, I have Ideguchi in there, folks, because I don't know if Brendan has had that conversation, because obviously he's been away for last year and a bit. He's got player of the year in Japan. And
I think I saw on Twitter that deal's already been agreed for him to join there.
Well, there's a talk of him obviously going
an option to buy.
Gamba are looking at him as well. There's been 3 teams looking at him, but if you have, like, I think Awata and him are very similar players.
They are. And it's just unfortunate. Remember when he came in, when we signed him, Hatate and Maeda at the same time, he got injured because, again, the game against Alloa, and that seemed to never really be able to recuperate from there. But it's unfortunate, but that's football. It's the way sometimes it goes, and I'd probably be quite happy to see him go, to be honest.
Yeah. Madness. Absolute madness. I honestly feel a bit Ideguchi, the whole Alaba, as you said, the tackle, it just went downhill there from. Right, we talked about Alaga Bielka already. Bernardo, I just think this is a step. I just think this is a bad transfer. Now it's a loan transfer. I just feel like he's playing Champions League group games, but he's not playing in the league. It's just a strange one with Bernardo.
Yeah, see what you're saying there about Bernardo. I'm beginning to actually wonder if there was something in his contract that he had to play Champions League games.
100%.
I mean, how are you good enough to play against Atletico Madrid away, but you won't play against Kilmarnock away the same week?
I thought that when he started against Lazio. I honestly thought the same thing.
How does that make sense, honestly? I mean, there must have been something in the contract. There must have been.
Yeah, definitely. I think Bernardo snip with him. It's not like we're going to buy him. It doesn't seem like he has enough to encourage that he's taking the league by storm in any way. So I'll be moving on from Bernardo anyway.
Yeah,
I'll be snipping him off. We obviously talked about Kwan already in the midfield. David Turnbull. I know a lot of people in the comments still like David Turnbull to sign on. You've said on the channel as well that reportedly that he's changed his agent and he's snubbed the deal. Don't know how accurate that is, but time will tell.
I think Turnbull is one of the players where I think you keep him. I mean, I know people might not agree with me here. I just think you keep him around a day. I feel like if you need somebody to go to for a short-term fix, he's your guy. And to gamble that, maybe not the best idea, but again, that's better.
This is what I'm going to say back to the Bernardo thing with David Turnbull as well. We're looking at this long-term, folks. Bernardo isn't... They're rating Bernardo at 90 million, Benfica, in that contract clause.
Crazy.
What's the point? He's not going to... It's no point in bringing a loanee player in and being used and he goes off and he hasn't given us enough. I haven't seen enough of him so far, folks.
Anything really, I want to see he's giving us anything, mate, to be honest with you.
I'd be more excited seeing Odin home than Bernardo, even though Bernardo has battled in Champions League games, but it doesn't mean he's right for Celtic.
No, he's not.
Turnbull, only people are saying only good for some shots from range, set pieces, but he brings a different style to the game, Turnbull.
Is he still our top goal scorer, David Turnbull? Joint top goal scorer? I think he might be.
Was it 7 goals he was on?
I think so. So
No,
like I say that.
Matt O'Reilly's on 9.
Right, so he's in 9, right? So he's cleared them a bit then.
Mm.
But I would keep Turnbull around, just like I say, for that player that you need to go to. Not all the time, but he's there. I would rather have him on the bench than James Forrest, if that makes sense, holding the space. If it ever came to that, do you know what I mean? So I would keep Turnbull. I know that might be unpopular amongst some of the fans, but I would keep Turnbull.
Why do you let him go? What's the
Yeah,
point?
so that's fair enough.
I think it's prolonging this contract. He's literally a week or two away from signing a pre-contract with a team. You know, anyone can come in. Like it just, I don't know if it's just a lack of ambition from the board or contracts. Like, what's the point of playing this guy for the end of the rest of the season, and he might not even win anything.
I feel like
there's someone else
correct.
Can do a job.
Yeah, correct in what you're saying there. I feel like we've seen Turnbull's ceiling, if that makes sense. I feel like he's at the ceiling just now. I don't think, like, going forward, I'm not going to contradict myself here, but I don't think going forward he is going to get any better. So I feel like I'm going now, then this is probably the best chance to do so. But it's one of the ones, and it's like you'll get people will want him to go, but then when he's not there, people will moan because he's not there, if that makes sense. So it's catch-22 a bit. But I can understand why you'd put him in the team, because I feel like we're at his ceiling just now. I don't think he's going to get any better than what he is already.
Cash in. What would you even get for Turnbull? I seen mad speculation that he was linked to AC Milan 3 or 4 weeks ago. I don't know how accurate that was.
I don't know about that. No,
I think someone must have hacked Fabrizio Romero's phone or something for the laugh.
Yeah, probably just to write it, David Turnbull, AC Milan. Can you imagine that?
Right, Luke Shaw. His contract needs to be butchered. Gone. Good luck.
Yeah,
there's no point even talking about him. Waste of player. Bosun Lahal. He's down at Fleetwood. I actually was talking to his brother a couple of weeks ago in Dublin. He's like, "What do you think of Bosun?" I was like, "I haven't seen much of him, to be honest. The games he's played, hasn't been, it's just too much of a big step for him. But he's played well for Ireland 21s. I just think we could go out and get someone.
Yeah, there's better out there. 100% better out
there. James McCarthy playing 5th division the other day.
Oh my God! Honestly, I don't know what to say about this guy, Keith. Honestly, I mean, again, it's really, really, really poor recruitment to take a gamble on somebody at that age with that amount of injuries. It's really poor. Honestly, It's poor.
Definitely.
That's what I can really say. Honestly,
we've got 105 people in tonight, folks. If you can go onto the YouTube channel and subscribe, your lot is on Facebook. It'll all be nosy gates. Go on, it's free of charge. Subscribe. It'd be really appreciated, folks. I want to try to get up to 17,000. So James McCarthy, I think every fan wants him out the door. Who's this?
Exactly.
Adam Montgomery. I don't know about this guy, but I've seen potential in him. Andrew's first season, he went on loan to St. Johnstone, done all right. Aberdeen, I don't know.
Is that what it is just now, Aberdeen? I seem to forget.
No, he was at Aberdeen. He's at Fleetwood now.
He's playing left back under Ange at one point, was he? I'm sure I've
seen
him in the left back. Listen, I mean, I'm at the stage now where I would give him a chance over Greg Taylor, honestly. No, that might sound extreme, but I feel like, how old is he? Must be a young boy still. Must still only be in his early 20s.
Early 20s, I think.
Yeah, so I think again, I can understand why you'd want to move him on. Well, he probably will never get a chance, so you're probably correct in what you say to move him on.
Right, what's Monto? Monto is 21. He's from Livy.
21. So he's
only played 3 times for Fleetwood, but far as I know, he got injured for them at the start of the season.
A guy at his age needs to be playing regularly to see, I would say, to progress. So probably not a good idea. You're probably right in what you say by letting him go.
You should be doing more live gigs. I reckon many people would come out and watch it. Well, maybe down the line. Okay. For the time being, let's just get this YouTube. More people subscribed. All these Facebookers that are lazy to jump over. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Right. So Montgomery, I don't know. Ideguchi, we discussed Ideguchi.
Yeah.
If the team's already interested in Japan and he's set, we need to look at a bigger perspective here. As much as we criticize footballers and praise footballers, they have a personal life as well. They have kids to think about.
And exactly.
I remember speaking to Liam Scales about 2 years ago before he went on loan to Aberdeen, and he was saying to me that like the Japanese guys set up, but Gucci was struggling to set up because he had
It
2 or
looked
3
that way.
kids.
Yeah, it did look that way.
That's it.
But I would probably let him go, like you say. I'd probably best, if it's best for both parties. Then I don't see why we would stop it.
Is a younger Johnny Hayes would be great. Well, there is a player that we were looking at from St. Patrick's, and I think this guy is going. This guy, there's some gems coming through the League of Ireland. Some people don't like the League of Ireland. Scottish people just don't rate the League of Ireland. And folks, I think it's Liam Scales, League of Ireland. He's done well. He's in there now. I'm just going to find the name of this guy now. 17-year-olds.
Do we not sign somebody from Charlotte Rovers? I think he just came back. Is it Johnny Kenny's name?
He's up front. He's up front in the. You'd like to say, yeah, he's up front in that picture. Johnny Kenny.
I see him. Johnny Kenny. Yeah,
Johnny Kenny. Yeah.
Deal's just ended actually.
Johnny Kenny, right? Johnny Kenny played at Shamrock Rovers, won a league title there. Don't rate the guy. Don't rate him.
Fair enough. You'll know.
What I've seen of him. Even the guys in up in Sligo are boasting him up. Don't rate him. And let him go. Just let him go. Cut the contract. Sure, he was playing for Queen's Park and all last season on loan. And then you see in the far left as well. Keith, onto your projects, you crawler. What projects? Are we talking about project players or? It's hard to say project players. Mikey Johnston. I think the jury's out on Mikey Johnston.
Yeah, totally agree. Honestly, I could be here all day moaning about Mikey Johnson, but I'm just going to say, he should go because I've been here all day. Honestly,
that's it. Right, that's they kind of cleared out of what I would go. I think a lot of people picked up for Yang. Very surprised with that. So that's the thing. And as I said, I still feel the frustration is out on this guy. I just think the way I feel like he's throwing some players under the bus in press conferences. I feel like, I think maybe he's lost the appetite for it. And you want enthusiastic manager. If you've been there before and you know what the pressure of managing Celtic, and he said in that interview, the one I was telling you about, the one back in July, he's like, I want to get the fans on board. I want to have the fans excited again. He's done the opposite.
It's no way to do that. Is to get the fans back on board. Is no to publicly slight your team by saying they're not good enough. That's baffling to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, why would you say we can recruit that you need to add quality? There's quality in that team. There's treble winning players in that team. You know what I mean? So
I understand in the summer he was looking at he was assessing the squad and he was looking at who's good enough and who's not good enough. But my God, that's the most I've seen of clearing players out before even January. Like, that's crazy. Like 15 players I wrote down yesterday. That's not even Joe Hart and Taylor.
No, there's been a good few, and it's frightening to think there needs to be even more. Do you know what I mean? That's the scary thought. Do you know what I mean? There's 15 gone, and you're looking at another 11 at least. So you've put your wee graphic there, but it's a sorry state of affairs now.
Red Scotland thinks I don't think Brendan would have came back if he didn't have the stomach for it. He's been shafted, and he needs our backing. Last thing he needs is for us to F him over. I want them to do well. I was one of the first people to go on YouTube and to ask for Brendan Rodgers back. To be honest, which is I'm not eating me word. I'm not going against my words, but like you need to have that confidence in the manager as well. You need to Ange felt like it was always cruise control the way he spoke in the media. Ange won a lot of fans over and winning the first two press conferences. I was like, who is this guy? Ange Postecoglou. Couldn't even pronounce his name for 6 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he see that train session when he's like, we never stop and we get the ball. Like that just won over. But I just feel with Brendan, it's just real PR. Brendan Rodgers just getting on with the job. No energy there. It's the same repetitive crap we're hearing from the press conferences. And I just feel that we can get better out of this man. I just feel we can.
I do as well, and that's an interesting comment. The wee bit at the end.
The only enthusiasm I've seen of Brendan Rodgers, 2 games I've seen enthusiasm of Brendan Rodgers, is when we beat Hearts at Tynecastle and we beat Rangers.
Yep, exactly. Exactly.
And a couple of goals in the Champions League as well with KYOGO. That's about it.
I agree. it seems a bit. This is going to sound a bit. I'll just say it. So see the last thing he needs for us to also fuck him over. I don't know what if people have got a bit like they don't seem to forget that this is the same guy that walked out, snuck out the back door on us.
I know.
So I feel like, in my opinion, the time he had to get this right because of what happened last time. He had to get it right, and I feel like the bridge of trying to repair the relationship. If the results on the pitch don't come, it's just going to get worse. And I just don't see. I don't know. I just don't see it ever being repaired if this continues. Because it's poor.
Some people are talking about new managers already, folks. I'm not talking about a new manager now. Okay, I think there's a bit of a panic between some fans, and I feel like what I've spoke to people so far, and even on this podcast, like there's worry there. There's worry there going into the rest of these 3 games, and before January, as I said, 11 days to go. The transfer window is a long month, and we have a winter break in there. Let's start getting players in. Let's start feeling excited. Let's start feeling good about looking at YouTube videos of these players that we could have in. There's none of that. Someone saying Arnie Slot from Feyenoord. I'd love to get Arnie Slot in. He turned down the Feyenoord job, or not the Feyenoord sports job, and then Ange got it. Steve Cooper.
Yeah,
obviously Steve Cooper, Nottingham Forest. He got the sack today.
I mean, there's definitely people out there. It seems to be a more range than there was at the time when we brought Rodgers back. Do you know what I mean? It seems to be back then it was either him or Enzo Maresca, who, by the way, has got Leicester playing some really good football.
Do you know what? After I got off the podcast the other night, I only thought about Maresca. I was like, he's actually playing really good football with Leicester.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I watched a bit of the other night.
I was anti-Maresca. I was like, this guy.
So was that.
Number 2, never managed. No. I wouldn't go near me. Brendan Rodgers for me and all. Like,
I was the same, mate. The exact same, honestly. The exact same.
And the board don't know who they want. And at the end of the day, Rodgers is here for 3 years, and people might laugh when we say that, but we have to be honest here. We just need to turn the results around. As Red Scotland says, we'll unite when we start winning.
That's true. That's so true.
It's winning. It's the hunger. It's the lack of hunger. It's the lack of hunger from the players that's concerning. We're not expecting free-flowing Barcelona football, folks. It's like look at the wage bill, look at the money, look at the success. We went from 6 months ago winning the treble, and yet some of that treble team has moved on, like Starfelt and Jota. It's just there's a culture in that club at the moment that doesn't seem right, which is affecting the players on the pitch, and it's affecting the fans in the stands.
I couldn't believe what Rodgers said when he said at the weekend in his post-match interview that he wasn't surprised about that performance. That to me it was insane.
Throwing the
do you know what I mean?
The players under the bus.
If you knew this was going to happen, surely it's your job to make sure that it doesn't happen again. Because see, after the first half of St Johnstone, when they got the reaction, you think that right, we're going to kick on for here. But to then say that he's no surprise it's happened again it's baffling to me. Honestly, I don't understand where that's come from.
Let's be honest. I felt about 55 minutes of the game, 60 minutes of the game. I was like, we're not going to come back into this. This is done. This is done.
100%.
This is done. And as I said, I'm not seeing enough evidence to convince that we have that late winner formula that we used. I know people might say, "Oh, Keith, you're talking daft. We scored against Feyenoord the other night." I'm talking about in the league, the bread and butter. I'm talking about the mentality of the players. Some players think that it's a stroll in the park and they could just go on and win trebles or win leagues. Hard work pays off, folks. And obviously, what's going on in the training ground when Rodgers can't pick and he's putting Kwan on the bench, it just shows that this team is in a bit of a mess.
It's bad. It's very bad. People making benches left one game, not the next week. It's something's not right behind the scenes. I think that's evident.
Who would I like as a new Celtic manager if Rodgers was to go? It's a tough one. It really is a tough one.
It's just we're doing that thing again, aren't we? We're doing that thing again.
Don't go backwards. Move forwards.
Do you know what I mean?
Some people are saying Steve Clarke after the Euros. Look, Steve Clarke obviously is at the uniting a good Scottish team there. Really fought hard in the last 5 years or 4 years. He's been in the Scotland post, and well done to him getting to the Euros two consecutive times. It really is a hard one to say. Like you have to kind of look at. I would like Newton, to be honest.
Yeah.
I really would like Newton, but I don't. We should have went for Newton, but
we should have at the time, yeah. But we've still got a manager.
We got a manager, exactly. I think it's quite disrespectful. They say let's get a manager in and let's do this and let's do that. But I said we can just let's get a house in order, folks. Let's just get it right. And what I mean is getting it right is Brendan needs to stop being so under the whip, under the pull by the chain, and actually bark and get what he wants. And we're not expecting big changes, folks. We want a goalkeeper. We want the left back. Greg Taylor is done. He was class the last 2 seasons. He's done. Brutal. Sorry. I'm being honest, but I know I might come across as you might think glory hunting, premature, but he's not going to wear the Celtic shirt this season. Simple.
Ange turned a very, very average player into a decent player for 2 years, and he's gone back to where he was. Do you know what I mean? So he'd be a good backup. You know what I mean? Like a Ralston, maybe one game here and there. But as a first team Celtic quality left back, nah, not for me.
Nothing gets me excited, man. To be honest, Ralphie, I've been excited. Like usually when it comes to transfer negotiation or transfer speculation and clickbait transfer stuff, I actually like talking about the stuff. But there's nothing been. We've been linked with Felipe Ojo from a Portuguese team. Like looks like a good player, 6'4", quite pacey, done well in the Benfica youth team. Just there's nothing there. It just shows a lack of ambition. As I said, I think the borders are sleeping on this. I think it's as Jamie said, it's a job for the family. It's a family-run club. It feels like, and it just feels like it's you're gambling with a 60 million Champions League campaign next season. You're gambling with, pride, bragging rights, angry fans, season tickets, unhappy players. There's so much we're gambling with.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, honestly. I see. I don't know if you've seen this on Twitter, Keith. The rumours again for that boy. See the striker, the Danish striker. Is it
Vestergaard?
Yeah, I seen that. I also saw that there was an Italian team looking at him as well.
Schalke want him.
That's German. That's that German.
I think he'll go to Schalke, to be honest with you. And that just shows that Celtic has a marketing tool, can't load these players in. Schalke are a really good supporter club in Germany. They always sell. Even when they got dropped down to Bundesliga 2, they were still filling that stadium. That's where I think that's where, was it Maurice Jens went to? Schalke?
Yeah.
Sidney Van Hooydonck's been linked.
I've seen it.
Sydney looks well. He's boss in the Eredivisie. He's not doing well for Bologna this season. He's only played like 6 games. He scored 1 goal in there, and that was in the Coppa Italia. I just feel like Brendan just needs something right, and what that is right is maybe changing the system, going with 2 up front, stop putting KYOGO as an attacking mid. It's just not working. And as I said, we have a player that what we know. Like, it's mad to think this day 2 years ago, we won the League Cup.
Yeah, I came up with memories actually. I was there.
We all go double.
It's depressing now. I was there, and now I seen it, and it just made me feel even worse about what happened at the weekend. You know what I mean? So, and it's our own fault as well. You know what I mean? It's not like we were done by a stupid goal or anything like that. It's performances that we're all too used to from a Brendan Rodgers Celtic at this stage of the season, which is disappointing, I would say.
That's it. It's not edge off. It's not getting your bum off the seat and being excited. No. And I'm not trying to be negative, Nancy, folks. I'm just being honest. Yeah. And I know people, as I said, people on this will turn around and say, I've been through the 90s. I've been through this and that. Keith, results come and go, and you just have to get on with it and keep the faith. I will keep the faith when we start doing stuff. in the background. Start actually negotiating with players. Start showing what if this board is actually giving themselves pay increases, we want to see action done. You know, you're all talking about being reunited. Get the ultras back in. Get fans in the stadium and start backing the team. You know.
Totally, I agree with you totally. It's we just need one step at a time. You know, it's not going to be a quick fix. I think we just need to keep.
I called Brendan Rodgers to come in, Jamie, and as I said, I think if he barks and gets what he wants in January, and if he doesn't win the league, you get rid of him in the summer. Simple as that. I know that sounds very premature, but we're coming off a guy that like he's won seven trophies, and I understand Jamie saying it's the same guy as well that walked out the door on a potential chance of doing a treble. There's gonna be fans that are against the appointment. There's gonna be fans that are sitting back and laughing, saying "Told you so." And I don't think it's time to have that conversation with you. I think the conversation is we need to back the team. And if he looks like he's fed up and he's coming out with these words saying like, I'm not surprised. There's obviously something going on in the background that he's a broken relationship there with the boards.
Yeah, I agree. It's a good point.
So we'll see what happens. But what's your prediction for Saturday? Just be honest.
I'm going to be honest. In fact, you know what? I'm going to take it upbeat a bit, Keith. You know, I'm going to try and put some positivity into the team. I think we're going to see a serious reaction. I think we're going to do them by 3 or 4 goals to 0. That is what I think, and I'm going to stick to that. I'm going to stick to the positivity, and I really, really hope to see a decent performance. I hope it changes it, and like I said earlier, I do feel we might see Mike Nawrocki somewhere in the team on Saturday. I could be wrong, obviously, but I just feel like we need to change it.
Just drop Taylor and bring Scales left back and put Nawrocki in.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Honestly. I know it's a bit far-fetched, but we need to start somewhere. It needs to start somewhere, you know what I mean? So
that's it. Well, they always say baby steps for great success.
Yeah,
exactly. It takes time. As I said, you need to feel optimistic on Saturday. As much as I'm not going to lie, folks. Every 5 minutes, I've been so aggravated since Saturday. As I said, it's not just a loss. It's a build up of the shy football we've been playing. A build up of a divide of fans. A build up of just feeling like we're playing as a middle tier team. Like it just feels like we're the one that's sitting 6th or 7th in the league at the moment, folks.
Well, I checked before we came on here, and see, you look at the form, we are actually bang in the middle, right in the middle. We are sixth informed team. We've played 5 games. I think we've picked up 7 points. Scored 7 goals, scored 9 goals and conceded 7. So we are performing like a bang average team just now. You know what I mean? It's there, like you say, and it has to change quickly.
You're saying quality, Jamie, and you know what? I just don't feel like the board are going to give Brendan Rodgers that type of quality. And I mean quality, as I said this on the channel, and I know a lot of people might think this is a ring around the same talk. Why does he not talk about something different? He says the same absolute crap all the time. Break the Edward transfer fee and get a decent striker in. If sit KYOGO down, give KYOGO hard work to do, play him in the right position. Let's see what... We need to have that one-to-one conversation with KYOGO. He threw KYOGO under the bus 2 weeks ago for the Champions League, saying he's not obeying orders. He's not playing to the potential. He's not listening to what I'm saying. Like crap like that. I'm not quoting stuff, but similar stuff to
that. Something needs to change, man. We need another striker option as well. Because I think that O is. I don't know. I like O, but is he going to be the man going forward? Probably not. That's
a great point there. Love to see that one, Jamie. Levy game, make or break for the season.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Right, Jamie, I'll let you get off this. I'll do a bit of solo comments on this, folks, and I'll engage with you more. Great to have Jamie on, folks. If you are on TikTok, Jamie Curran, give him a follow. Good bit of banter. Good bit of banter. I might catch you on Saturday night. It just depends how we are feeling. After the game on Saturday night, you can fill me in on the feedback.
I will, mate. Right, Keith. Thanks again. I appreciate your time, man. See you later.
No problem. So, folks, I said I'll have a chat with you now for the next 10, 15 minutes. I know I've covered a lot on this. We've talked about players that could go out in January, players. And as I said, I don't have much to talk to you about with regards to incomings. I know what positions that we need to strengthen. We all know what positions we need to strengthen. We need to strengthen goalkeeper, left back. I feel a defensive midfield have more ammunition in there. I feel like we need to get 2 strikers in, maybe a right winger. It's quite embarrassing to say how many positions you need to strengthen in January. We shouldn't be talking like this. This is stuff you talk about in the summer. And this is what it's at, folks. You know? Marty says, tippy-tappy shy. 90 minutes. As I said, it's a lot of ball at the back. We're not dictating the game. The tempo of football has dropped. And you need fast play for the likes of KYOGO getting in there. His confidence is gone and it's breaking me. Look at me mug. KYOGO. So I want to see him back celebrating, you know. No midweek game is rough because we're picking up over the bottoms of the weekend. And that's it. Well, the only positive thing about that, Kaiser, is work harder in training. Work harder in training. And I know a lot of people are thinking about, what about them winning their games in hand, and thinking in the back of the head about what they're doing. Let's focus on what we're doing. Let's get right on their sides, you know. Notorious King, Notorious Bling, sorry. So there's 90 is on, folks. Subscribe to the YouTube channel at the end of this. It'd be appreciated. If you want to join the membership, it's 99 pence. You know, at the end of the day, every little helps. If you don't have the money, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You know, at the end of the day, it's Christmas coming up. Difficult times for people, you know. So just keep the head up, folks. Just keep the head up. Football affects the mind. I can understand. Sometimes we're not used to this. We're not used to this. We haven't seen this type of, you know, defeats and bad performances like this since, you know, the 2020 or 2020 up to 21 season, the Lenny season. So keep the head up, folks. We'll get through it. You know, you have to voice your opinion. You have to criticize what's in front. You know what you're seeing in front. KYOGO is better than Edward if you play him right. 100%, 100%. You know, exciting football we've seen. You know, it's just the character, the finishes. You know, the attributes. Edward was a good finisher. You know, still is. He's still doing well for Palace. Just what he said wasn't in it. I'm glad he went. I think it will get worse before it gets better. It could. France is a really could, and that's what I think a lot of us are sitting on edge about. To be honest, there's the evidence is there. It could get worse, you know, and we're hoping it doesn't get worse because we're hoping that we get reaction on Saturday against, you know, Ian Mitchell's team. Phil Mitchell's team. Sorry, Phil Mitchell's team. Who's Ian Mitchell? Phil Mitchell's team. Ian Mitchell. Who's Ian Mitchell? Ian Beale. On the flip side, Kaiser, it gives the manager more time on the training pitch. Exactly. It does. You know. Jamie, what in your eyes would change your opinion about Brendan Rodgers? What exactly you feel? You probably have a list of things that needs to be improved. Just you know, write it down. Jamie Corden on TikTok. Good. Lava Senior wasn't at the game on Saturday. Hopes he's back, and I want the fans to give him barrels. 100%. You know. It starts with the manager. Where you have to back him and get the results right. And if that continues defeats, you question the recruitment. And then you move on to the recruitment. You question the board, and you say, right, this board has done a lot of good as well over the last few years. People do forget that we've won trebles. People forget that this board bring engine as well. People forget about that. We all criticise the bad, but we don't think about the good as well at times. And there's fans in here that always think of the good. Don't blink their eyes and realise everything is all good. Folks, you were in cuckoo land during lockdown, and you just kept saying everything's going to be okay. Get embarrassed in Europa League, smashed it by teams, and people are still like, you know, Neil Allen's going to get it right, keep the faith, and then it falls down. If you have a person that's unhappy in the job, and you can see it in the press conferences, and you could see it in the way he's talking, the way he's throwing the players under the bus. There's obviously something going on in the background. So there a broken relationship with the players, broken relationship with the board, and this is what we're trying to. We don't know what's going on in Lennoxtown. We don't know what's going on in the dressing room. All we can say, what we see on the pitch and what we see in post-match reaction and press conferences, and it's not encouraging. It's not encouraging at the moment. If we drop points on Saturday, serious chat, Brendan, before the Rangers game, you'll get time. I still think you get time, but it just needs to. Still think Rodgers can turn things around. As I said, I still think he needs to turn it around. Obviously, Atate can play left back. Good shout, Chili Pilly. Good shout. Mayeda can play through the middle. Said that the other night. He could, and he's a workhorse as well. And people think, he's not a front man. Look at what he done in pre-season. He's got a good few goals in pre-season as well. I know this is the business end where you need goals. At the moment, we're relying on midfielders and our wingers to score the goals. Strikers are just not doing it at times. And it's sad to say. Team that banged in goals so much last season, the season before. Season before, we scored over 100 odd goals. But Scales a left back, Rocky a centre back, 100%. We agreed on that. We did on the Jamie. Within 60 million a stake, and you need to speculate and accumulate. Brendan needs 40 million to spend over the next 2 windows. Hopefully. As I said, goalkeeper, put about 6 or 7 million into a goalkeeper. Get a striker. If you can get these 1 or 2 positions cemented at long term, we can start working on the rest of them. But I feel left back and a goalkeeper. Like as I said, we're rotting from back to front. We are. And people to disagree, go ahead, disagree. But we are rotting from back to front. And I hope we get it changed. Reaction is needed, as we all know. Atate, when's he coming back? He's back training, so I hope he's in potential. The thing is, I don't want us rushing players back. We've seen him with Atate, he rushed him back and he got injured again. And Atate wasn't even playing the best when he came back as well. Atate, Abada is amazing, but he's injured. MJ, see you later, Mikey Johnston. Thanks for your time. And Gray Norton chair, go. Don't you had your time with Celtic, mate? We need to get better quality in, and look at wishing the best for the Irish team. I want Noonan. Callagher's not going to come to Celtic. I think he's pretty happy at Liverpool, being second choice. Plays Europa League games and stuff like that. Quality attacker, and their games in hand. I'm not worried about them. As I said, we need to worry about ourselves. And that's the thing. We could go into this game on Saturday and it could be very slow paced. Like I was saying before the Hearts game on Saturday when we were doing the preview for it, and the team was announced, I was like, it's going to be a real 0-0 half-time vibe to it, I guarantee you. And they were going 2-0. 2-0 half-time. Like there's anger, there's disappointment, there's people that are not convinced what they're seeing. Full stop, As people are saying, get Lawwell out. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Like at the end of the day, his relationship with Dermot Desmond, it's not going to happen, folks. As much as fans want to see Lawwell out, fans want to see Nicholson out, fans want to see young Lawwell out, fans want to see people gone. It's not going to happen. We just need to be honest. As much as we have all these Celtic groups and they'll all have voiced their opinion and some great points, I just can't see it happen. As much as you protest, it's not like the early 90s. Who's going to come in and buy the club? This is the problem, like, folks. Celtic as a marketing tool need to move out of Scottish football to wheel these big money investors in to compete at that some sort of level that we all want. This 72,000 seater stadium, Champions League, be competitive in the Champions League, being competitive in some sort of league, if it's English football or dominating Scottish football. There's a lot of wish lists that we want, but the reality is they're out of touch. The board is. Now, yes, they're improving the training facilities. They're bringing sports science teams in. They're bringing these new Astro pitches in and state-of-the-art pitches and stuff like that. But it's the most important thing is on the pitch. It's getting it right in the pitch. And you need to believe in a manager. And I feel Brendan Rodgers has been PR stunned. He's been conned by the board. He's been conned. He's been told what to say. Like Neil Lennon was told what to say during that COVID season. Absolutely embarrassing. Like, the guy's been around so long. He's worked at Liverpool. He's worked at Leicester. He's worked at Celtic before. He's worked at Swansea. And he knows the ins. He's worked at Chelsea under Mourinho. He knows the ins and outs of how to deal with boards. He's not an amateur. He should know how to dictate and to identify players what he wants. Within the budget. And the budget should be 6 or 7 million. It's just embarrassing. It really is. Like, if you're not going to speak out, he's speaking out and throwing players under the bus. He's not speaking out about the board. He keeps saying, "Oh, we need to recruit. We need to this." Just come out and say, we need a massive, massive shake-up in January. Like you had John Kennedy saying that the other day from that there's going to be a trimming of the squad. 28% of that squad is players to be brought in the summer. And only one of them has done pretty decent so far. Palmer. He's been off the grid for a few games, but I think we see a player there. The rest of them are just, not cutting the jersey, folks. And I know some of you are saying, give it time. Some players may need to adapt to the game. Yeah, I think it's a bit harsh on that player, Keith. We need to win games. They're getting paid a salary. They're getting paid to go out and represent the club and put their hoops on. The pressure of playing in front of 60,000 fans. If they keep playing like that, there won't be 60,000 fans. They'll be down to 30,000 fans because people will get fed up with it, So it's all in the hands. It's all in the hands. 3-0 Saturday, hopefully. You did fall out with Tate, but that's the thing. It's all down to his man management skills to get it right as well. He fell out with Griffiths as well. His last stop was for the payday, and that's what a lot of people are thinking. A lot of people are thinking he just came here for the payday, and people are disagreeing. Say, Keith, he has a point to prove. And look back. It's on my YouTube channel. Look back at that interview you done in July, folks. It just feels like it's all come together. As I said, I want them to succeed at Celtic, but the style of play needs the tempo of football, needs to push up, needs to be faster. He needs to start believing these strikers and stop throwing players under the bus. Because if you start throwing players under the bus, they're not going to play for you. And then it's going to cause a bad buzz around the team. And you certainly want players bitching about their manager. Yes, there's always going to be that in the dressing rooms or in the pitch that they're not getting first team football. But when you're throwing players under the bus 6 months in, come on, this is not going to work long term, Yeah, I think that, Patrick. I do think that, and that's, to be honest, and that's my concerns tonight. It's been my concern since Kilmarnock, and I think it just hit home on Saturday. As I said, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, throwing the toys out of the pram and moaning because we lost games. As I said, it's the tempo of football. It's the way he sells himself to the media. It's the way that captain is very hot and cold. We have a striker there that can't score for his life, 1 in 11 games. We have a goalkeeper there that made so many errors in the last 2 years. Yes, he's leadership, but come on, fix it. Fix it. At the end of the day, fix it. It's been a strong podcast tonight, folks. I'm going to jump out in about 5 minutes' time. I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone that tuned in on Facebook and on YouTube tonight. As I said, if you could just jump on the Come On The Hoops YouTube channel and subscribe. It's free of charge. You just go on like you go on and subscribe to the other Celtic podcasts. At the end of the day, I do this for the sake of want to do this full time one day, folks. And every single sub helps. As I said, if you contribute that free sub, it makes me happier. Go to bed. All I want for Christmas is another sub. How's it going, Topic Talker? I haven't seen you in a while. I know you popped on Saturday. What's your thoughts on the fans being arrested for shouting at the boards? that title of opinion at the end of the day. I think being arrested is a bit too much at the end of the day. Obviously there's protocols that have to be followed with safety in stadiums, and if you feel like they're going past that safety protocols, it's out of our hands to comment on that, you know. I just feel like there's a divide happening at the moment, and I had someone on today saying, "Oh, use Celtic YouTubers, give it a break, trying to cause trouble." We're not causing trouble. The whole point of having a YouTube channel is giving your opinion. If you don't like it, jog on and find someone else. You know, majority of the podcasts that you watch this week are all saying the same thing. They're all saying, "Oh, who would you blame? Is it the board? Is it the manager? Is it the players? Is it a case that we're being missold?" You know, some players, as I said, I honestly think we start talking about managers after the derby. If we drop points to them on the 30th of January at home with a full crowd, that's when you say, what's going on here? What is going on? Do we just have someone that just came for the money and is looking to get the boot and leaving a bad statement? Because I know for a fact he's not wanting to get the sack and not wanting to leave and be hated twice as much as he was the last time. Definitely not. He wants to come in and make a point. You know, you take a job, you want to succeed in the job. You know, as much as you're getting the incentive, he's be getting bonuses, winning bonuses and stuff like that. Like, he just needs to get it together. You know. I know, and it's a results business. It's a results business. As I said, I'm still believing that he can do a job, and I know you probably think, "Oh, Keith, you're talking absolutely there." I still believe he can do a job. You know, this is what happens in management. You lose games, people get on your back, and it's your job to prove the people wrong, prove fans wrong. That, you know what? Yes, I got it wrong in that game. Yes, I take responsibility for that. I take responsibility, players. It's a collective. It's a team. You know, on them sidelines, he should be pushing players, screaming the way Ange was screaming. Like, as I said, I know people don't like me going back to the whole Ange days, but you got to look at the past and learn from the past. You got to look at the COVID season and learn from the COVID season. You know, a lot of people are talking about it. If you keep sleeping at the wheel, damage happens. Simple as that. He doesn't have a solid, strong. We don't know what our best 11 is. Even when the play Abada and Atate are fit, we still don't know, because players are off the grid. The form is off the grid. There's too many players that are missing this season from what we had last season. You know, I believe it's done. The whole culture at the club again. I agree with you, and that's what I'm saying. People need to wake up. You know, have you seen the treble DVD? No, actually, I haven't. Just watched every game live. So I don't. I need to watch it. I need to watch it. It's reading this here. I'll watch it. You put me in the mood now to watch it. I was planned to go to bed, but I'm going to watch try get it somewhere. Or just go out and buy it off the club. Give more money to the board to not invest in the team. What did Danny say? Danny boy. How's it going, Danny? Don't know if this is me, Dublin Danny, or me Belfast Danny. I'm sure it's either one, and they speak very passionate and they speak with a bit of sense as well. I knew while watching this train wreck at the AGM, we were in trouble. I think a lot of people felt that as well, Danny, sorry. Yeah, that's it. Like, coming up like penalty the Rangers. Let's be ambitious here. You know, they're like, tap themselves on the back, like, oh, good job, we won a treble last season. Oh, we Champions League money there. But you have 70 million in the bank. Start spending bleeding money. Stop being Tams. They'll steal a game. Just spend the money and put it into the team and get results. You know, like, people were asking me a month ago, could we go invincible? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I felt uncomfortable talking about it, like, because I just didn't see enough. I was like, it's a possibility we could, but then looking at it now, 2 defeats. But anyways, folks, I'm going to jump off. It's been a pleasure talking to you all. Great comments, great viewing tonight on Facebook and on YouTube. As I said, for the 50th time, if you're on Facebook, get onto my YouTube. I put loads of daily content on YouTube. And the problem is with a lot of these Facebook people that watch this, I put YouTube videos up and you still don't click in and watch it. What is the problem? We got a guy here from Dublin that takes time every day to make videos to see what you like them. Like all the rest of them do. You know, you have to understand what goes on in the background. Laptop purchased, new ring light purchased, new microphone purchased to make these shows, to give you listen to your opinion, you know. So as I said, you get off your castle, will you? Forms temporary, decorations permanent. Yes, I look like the tears are coming out of my eyes. But as I said this on the channel the other night, you watch the Celtic podcast, right? You may think it's funny, but let's be honest here. How many times have you cried over the last 10 years when Celtic were winning trophies upon trophies in Hampden when you were sitting back? There's been many of them, hasn't there? So there's been a handful for Celtic fans. So just leave it there, be honest, you know. So folks, I'll leave it there, folks. Legends, all good people. Subscribe to the channel. Speak to you all soon. I'll be back on Friday night, probably 9 o'clock. I'll be back to Dublin Friday, so I'll pop on Friday night and I'll chat to you. And I will be on over the Christmas period chatting to you as well. So I might do a podcast on Christmas night. A couple of Guinnesses down me. Get the subtitles on. We'll see what happens. So we'll speak then, right? Quadruple treble. We won a world treble, record treble.